Okay, got it. Admit and admit. Okay. So again, good afternoon. Thank you so much. This is Simon Cazares, Managing Broker, Team Leader for KW South Bay and also the Long Beach Coastal Office. Ooh, we have more people jumping on the call, so let me omit them in. There we go. So today's topic is the creation of contracts. Creation of contracts. So I'm going to go into it more of a basic. One second, let me mute. I don't know if, can you unmute yourself, Evelyn?
Yeah, sorry, I'm in the car.
Oh, no problem. Oh, no problem. I just hear some background, that's all.
Oh, okay.
If you can just, there we go. You know, we love Zoom, but also Zoom has its hiccups as well. So thank you very much. All right, let me just move some items on my computer. So I'm going to start from the very beginning. I'm going to, okay. For some reason my computer is like acting up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start from the very beginning and how you can utilize your zip forms and how to create opportunities through through zip forms. So all you have to do, folks, is really simple. For me, the fastest way is I go to Google, type in car, and once I type car, usually takes me to my California Association of Realtors site. Here, you'll end up seeing either a female or a female or male realtor. And now you know that you're in the right direction here. So the California Association of Realtors, you're going to go ahead and sign in, right? You're going to put in your username and password. You're going to click on sign in, right? Now it's going to take you to this section here where it says Access Realtor Security Transaction. Here you're going to click. And now I know it goes through a lot of walls. What the Department of Real Estate, the California Association of Realtors, what they're doing is basically protecting the integrity of all the members. And this is the reason you go through so many channels in order for you to be able to have access to your contacts and obviously your forms. Once you go into this section here, you're going to go where it says transaction access to zip forms. You're going to click on that, and then you're going to validate your membership. Oh, thank you. That's my energy. Thanks, Nat. So then from here, you go to continue to transaction down here, and you're going to click on that. From here, it's going to take you to the main page of all your zip forms. Okay. May take a little longer depending on what type of computer you have. I have an old Mac Pro, and I think it's time to upgrade. I think it's ready to retire. Yeah. I know, I might have to get my plug soon, but I have it very low, so hopefully it will not. And I think I'm at 92%, so I think we're good for an hour. So now you're at this section here, which is your transaction. So the most important aspect of all this Zoom is all this right here, the dark blue area. All right, your dash, your forms, your transactions, your templates, your docu inbox, your task, your contacts, your partners, your shops, and also help. Now, I also want you to focus on where it says me right here. You guys see this? Me. Here you can go to settings and profiles, and there you can actually, if you by any chance transfer from one office to another office, you can update the information right from the settings here, okay? On top of that, this is where your Docusigns also is done, where it says sign and secure, Okay, let me omit this person in real quick. That's Hope. All right, so here is where you're able to change your password. If for any reason you don't remember your password, okay, then you can always go to the very top. I'm going to take you back to the dashboard, okay, where you see me. That's where your settings are at. You click on that, and that's going to take you. All right, come on, baby. That's going to take you right into your settings. And the reason I want you to understand this is because a lot of people that are using Docusign or the other platform, you need to be able to integrate the system. So Office, okay. Here you can put in your updated Office information. What are the files you have, the forms, the libraries, okay? And also, let me think, Hope, there we go, we muted her. These are all the forms that you have. Your products, one second, hold that thought for a minute, okay? Your products, if you have any additional products on top of what you already have as part of your membership, it will show what other products you have. Like if you have commercial documents, I have the premium package, so that gives me the Elite Agent by zip form. Okay, then it takes you here to your settings. And then this is where it's very important is your Docusign. If you have digital ink, if you're going to use digital ink, or if you're going to use your Docusign account. Now, as part of a Keller Williams affiliate, you have a free account. All you need to do is subscribe to it. You're going to put in your username, I think it's your email, and your password, and now you're going to be able to integrate your Docusign into your zip forms. That way, when you're sending documents, a listing agreement, a purchase agreement, addendums, disclosures to all of your clients, you can do it all from one hub, and the hub is here, okay? So you got to distinguish which of the two you want. If you want digital ink, some prefer digital ink, others prefer Docusign. For me, I love Docusign, so it's just a lot easier for me to utilize that platform, okay? You can also unlink if you want to cancel out your Docusign and go into digital ink or vice versa. You can also set notifications for yourself, okay? One second, why this, it may be that I have all these windows open, that's why it's probably slowing down. All right. If you want to use a transaction coordinator, such as Crystal for our office, Long Beach, if you use, I believe, Mina, if she's your TC there, right? Then you can actually have her invite whoever your TC is. So the TC will be able to go into your account, go into the system, and provide and populate whatever disclosures, documents that you need. Then you would send her or him an invitation, okay? You'll put in her first name, last name, and then your username, and then the email. And then you can give permission. You can create transactions, edit transaction details. So you can take or add anything that you want your TC to be able to do as part of your file. Okay. Any questions regarding profiles and settings? Okay, that's up here. You just go to profiles and settings, and that'll take you where you need to be. Okay. All right. Next, I want to talk to you about your dash. Usually, your dash is everything that you've done, such as your task, any e-signs in progress, any recent activities you've done, pending volume, okay, active volume, and then it'll also tell you a list of other retention periods as well. The necessary task in order for you to be more efficient in your business. Now, when you want to create a new client, if it's a new buyer, a new seller, a new lease, okay, you're going to go to new transaction. You click on new transaction. Now it'll take you here, and please select to get started. You can create a new listing. You can create a new offer. You can create a new lease. You can create a new lease listing or a quick e-signature. Okay, for this instance, we're going to create a new purchase offer. We're going to click on that, and now it's going to take you to another window. Now it's going to ask you for a transaction information. What I like to do to make my life easier, whatever offer or whatever listing, 123 ABC Street, Torrance, California, 9505 as an example, right? Now, the cool thing is, if this is a real address, now you can connect if the property is on the MLS. If this property is on the MLS, you just click here, and all you do is put in the MLS ID. So you're going to go here where it says, what type of MLS is it? Well, it's CRMLS. What type of property is it? Well, this is a single family residence. And here you can put the address, and if you want to include the photo as an example, and then it'll find. Okay, so it actually found the property on 520 North Howard Avenue in the city of Covina. Okay, now you can say, I want to use this. Okay, so this is when you're making an offer. Instead of worrying about the agent's name, the address, the APN, and the seller's information, the system will cultivate all that information if it's already on the MLS. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions regarding this? Okay, so once you create the file, you can add an image. If you have an image already on file, if it's a listing, then you can add the the photo just where it says add image. So this property that we're going to submit an offer is at 123 ABC Street, City of Torrance, California, 90505. It's a residential. Okay, I'm going to put that it's an active status. Okay, it's not pending yet, or if it's a prospect, right? This is the first time you meet with a buyer and you're consulting them. They still haven't narrowed the, what property they want to make an offer. Then I suggest you click as a prospect. But for the sake of today's class, we're going to put that it's an active client that you already have a buyer representation agreement in place. Here you can put any type of notations. If it's a husband and wife with 3 children, something that you can remember to include as part of your comments, then you're going to push save. Okay, so when you push save, now it's going to take you to the platform where it creates your file. See right here? So let's go real quick. This is actually February's. Where is, there we go. Let's see. So that's the summary. Let's go back to the transaction. And I know this morning the zip forms was having some technical issues. So I'm wondering if it still has any issues whatsoever. All right, so here it is, folks. So this is the file that I just created, 123 ABC, right? It's information, and I still don't have the buyer's information. I don't have a physical property that I'm going to submit an offer, but it says that I created it just now, today, which is the 26th of 2029. That is, oh, the retention aspect. So this will stay on file for 5 years. What is it? 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 7 years. So this will stay on record for 7 years. Okay, if you don't do anything, you forget it, this will stay with you for seven years. Okay, so now that you have created the file, right? Now we're going to click on 123 ABC Street. Now it takes you what's called the summary. All right, the summary of the property. You have parties, documents, checklists, notes, e-signatures, history, and if you want to buy any additional plans. Here, the cool thing is streamline the process is going to be for you. That's simple. Okay. The more information you put, the better the system will work for you. The less information, the more work you have to put in. Okay. So it's very, very important that you utilize, put as much information on the file, so that way when you're ready to submit a file, it's more of click, click, click instead of type, type, type. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Be proactive in the beginning instead of engaging when someone is ready to submit an offer, but now you have to spend hours inputting this information because you were not proactive from the very beginning. Instead, when you're going through the consulting that afternoon, that morning, input all the information of your clients. So here, where it says parties, that's where you're going to click. Now we need to know who you represent. Do you represent a buyer? Do you represent a seller? Or do you represent all? Okay, so we're going to say in this case, it's a buyer. Now here is buyer 1, buyer 2, buyer 3, buyer 4. That's it. You just put one buyer. If you have 2 buyers, then you put 2 buyers. If you have more than 2 buyers, then it gives you an additional 2 lines to put 2 more buyers into the offer. So for the sake of today, I'm just going to say we have 1 buyer. Oops. Now, when you click on 1 buyer, it's going to ask for pertinent information. Buyer 1, what's the first name, right? We'll say Simon. Well, better yet, let's go Batman. Oops. Remember, this is a sample. Last name, we'll say let's see, what last name should we use? Keller? Keller. And then you need an email. So here you're going to put, let's just say my email address, right, at kw.com, right? If you have a home phone number, if you have a business number, if you have a cell number, then you're going to add all that information. Here you're going to put in the address. You don't necessarily have to put their home address, but it's good to have that information just in case you need it. You can always go back to your transaction and you have the address information. You can also, remember, just take a phone, take a photo of your client, right? So I'll just do something like this, take a photo. Now I have a photo of my client, okay? And now I can upload that into the system and we're good to go. All right, here you go. That was quick. Then you're gonna add that into the system and then you're gonna save. life is going to be. Trust me when I say this, okay? Let the system do what it needs to do. Then the next would be is your documents and your checklist of items. So now I just created a buyer who's called Batman. Keller is his last name, right? If you have the seller's information, obviously you can put the seller's information. Now we're going to create our documents. Then it's the next step. Here, you're going to go from documents to all forms. Okay. From documents, you can go to e-signature, MLS Connect, MLS Record Connect, apply templates, add documents. Okay. If you have a pre-qual letter, you can upload it into the system. So everything stays connected. So if you have a pre-qual letter, proof of funds, right, credit history, upload it into the system. You just go add documents. And now you can browse your documents, create a placeholder, add forms, go to your Dropbox, go to your Google Drive box or your OneDrive, right? And then it'll upload any documents that you need. So when you submit an offer, right, you don't have to now find that email of Wells Fargo with the pre-approval letter and then or the proof of funds. Create all the systems in one place, folks. Makes your life a whole lot easier. Okay, so here, like you said, if you just browse, it's going to browse my computer. And if there's something in here that I want, the pre-qual letter is an example. The proof of funds as the other example. Maybe you have the desk underwriting, the DU approval already, then you're going to upload everything, open, and then what's going to happen from there, it's going to open it up into your system, and it's going to create this file with all the contracts as well. All right?
We'll be able to review this later, right?
Yeah, I have this recorded. Yes. Okay, so this is where the documents are, and then add documents here. Folder. Okay. Down here, I will create, you know, all of the disclosures. So when the seller comes in and you're in escrow, all the disclosures are going to go in here. Your internet's okay. You see that? Well, shoot, it's not coming up on your end. It's on my end. Let me stop again and share screen again and see if that works. Sorry about that. Okay, you see? I just created disclosures. Let's say I want to add another folder. And now I'm going to call this folder now lender's file. Okay. So whatever to basically help you memorize or help you stay more organized is perfectly fine. Whatever helps you, because this is your hub. All right.
Is this new or is
No.
something that I just haven't?
No, this is not new. This has always been part of your member services. Yeah. You can add, let's say, for example, let's say you want to create escrow, right? The escrow instructions. Then you would put escrow folder and then click OK. Now you just create it. So when all the emails that you come that are escrow, you're going to send them right to escrow folder. Anything that has to do with the lenders, you're going to send it right to. And all this is going to stay within your file, okay, your ABC file. That's the cool thing about this. Make your life easier, right? Let's say that you have, you want to create another file, for example, home inspections, right? And you get the home inspection report, you get all the photos and images, right? Then just create a folder for home inspections. Click OK. Bingo bango, there you go. You just created your files. Okay, they're saying that we cannot see, you cannot see the screen?
Yeah, now I can see it. Sorry.
Oh, okay, cool. Very good. So there you go, folks. You can create as many folders as you want. And then let's just say, for example, you're on disclosures, right? You're gonna click here. That's gonna open up a new window. And you can open up your options there, and then you can download everything into this particular file. All right. So it's just a great platform to really help you. All right. The next one is your checklist. Okay. Here's your checklist. We just talked about the summary. We talked about the parties. We're working with the buyer. Now, we're going to talk about the checklist. So here you can create a checklist, and that checklist will provide you where you're at with the process. Okay. So let's say we're going to be opening escrow, right? As an example, then you're going to save that as a checklist. Okay. Let's, what is the, here we go. Okay, let's cancel that. Or better yet, let me do this. Here's the notes as well. So you can always remember any calls, any text messages, anything that you need to remember, you can always create notes. Okay. So let's say that today I set an appointment, right, to have a home inspection this Saturday. Then you're going to go in here just as a reminder, as your notes, that on Saturday, whatever day that is, the 30th or the 29th, we have a home inspection at 10 o'clock in the morning. So that way you can create alerts to help you remember when that comes up. Oh, okay, we have a home inspection being done. And you can create as many notes as you want, and it'll keep all that information in the file. So this, just with this file, okay, this doesn't commingle with any other of your transactions. This is for ABC 123 in the city of Torrance. All right, so I'm going to go back to documents, okay, because this is where I get a lot of agents getting confused. Going back, so when you go to documents, when you hear documents, that's your zip forms. Remember, documents mean your zip forms, but also you created all these folders, right? Your disclosures, your lender file, your escrow, your home inspection files, right? Now you can organize that too. You can have it this way, or you can have it this way, or you can have it this way. Okay, whatever preference you like. I like to keep it very clean, so I like to see it this way. Again, it's all preference, all preference. Now let's go to your document. You're going to click on all forms, and here it's going to provide you with all your forms. Now here's a little hint and a little secret that a lot of agents do not know how to navigate. You see where it says the California Association of Realtors? If you click here, it opens up a new window. Here you have addendums, home warranties, finance helpline library, and car sample letters. If you click here, it's going to take you to all the letters that the California Association of Realtors created for your use and benefit. That a lot of people say, where do I find letters that I need to present to the seller, to present to the buyer? So again, you go up here to the very top. It's going to be first in California Association of Realtors, right? You click here and then go to car sample letters. All right. If you have a foreclosure prevention library, okay, so it has additional forms. A lot of them do not pertain, but some do to your file. So I'm going to go back to the sample letters. So you have letters for abandoned personal property. We have access permission letters, acknowledgement of non-tenancies, acting against broker's advice, acting against broker's advice for sellers, abandonment of commercial items, abandonment of residential, broker trust account letters, buyer's demand for deposit, buyer's intent to proceed with the transaction. Okay, these forms are here for your benefit and use. All right, a demand to seller to close letter. So let's just say that we need to send out a demand to the seller to close. You want to click on this letter and it's going to put it into your file. So let's just say you go here and it's right here. See it? Okay, and if you click on this, it's going to provide you with a sample letter. Now, if you have your information, it should create the information already populated. You see this? You didn't have to do this again, because if you're proactive from the very beginning, folks, it's going to populate this information already. The more you add, the easier life is going to be. Now, the cool thing about these letters, it tells you what the purpose of this letter is. This is a demand seller to close. So notice to the buyer, the attached letter is being provided to you as a courtesy by your real estate broker. As a real estate broker is qualified to advise you on real estate matters, not the law. Brokers do not represent, warrant, or guarantee the accuracy of the information contained in this letter or its adequacy of the provisions contained therein, as it relates to your specific real estate transaction. It is up to you to decide whether the letter is appropriate for your situation and whether or not to sign the letter and send it to the person to whom you're going to be addressing it to. The letter is not intended to replace or serve as a legal advice. Before making a decision whether you should sign and send this letter, your broker recommends that you first discuss the situation with legal counsel of your own choice. Meaning this is information you're providing the buyer, and vice versa. If it's a seller that you represent, then it's going to be one that is reviewed and approved by the seller. Now it goes into the letter's specific instruction. The purpose for use by a buyer agent where a seller is refusing to close escrow in breach of contract. This is only if the buyer submits all the process to close deal, releases all contingencies, and now the seller is in breach of the contract. For some reason, the seller is not closing. They're delaying, they're not communicating, whatever the case may be, then this form might suffice that position. This letter may be used in conjunction with the CAR form demand to close escrow, better known as the DCE. So your question and your answers are given to you, folks. Okay, so here now, it provides you with the letter. All right, so it'll say your client's buyers, and you can put the address of the subject property that you submitted an offer, right? The date that you submitted, right? So we said we submitted it today, the 26th, and then to whom it concerns, right? To the seller. Let's say that it's okay. Let's say you're sending this to the seller who is Wonder Woman, right? And then the address is, whatever the address is, 123 ABC, City of Torrance, State of California, zip code, right? Now, this is where it gets really cool, is here's the letter that you're sending on behalf, right? From your client who has asked, what other resources and what are the recommendations we have? As real estate professionals, remember, we don't give legal or taxation advice, right? But we can also advise that, if they're in breach of the contract, we can talk about anything that relates to the real estate transaction, what matters of the transaction. Now, anything that has to do with what direction your client wants to go, that's up to them. And then that's when we take 2 steps back and let the buyer make a decision. This is when we'll say, I think it might be best in your best interest to maybe speak with your legal department to make a decision in how you want to approach this with the seller, because it's obviously that the seller is not cooperating, and we made attempts with the listing agent, and I don't know what it is with the seller. Wonder Woman is not performing. So it's a very professional letter created by legal from the California Association of Realtors. And it says the following: Dear Wonder Woman seller, I or we hereby demand that you close escrow and convey title to the above described property in accordance with the attached, if check, previously delivered the demand to close escrow. Form DCE. I have fully performed all obligations under the agreement to date, and I am prepared to complete the transaction. Your failure to close escrow as specified in this agreement is a breach of the contract. Consequently, I may bring legal action against you to enforce all my legal contractual rights. The legal remedies available may include specific performance in which a court will force the sale of the property. Courts routinely order specific performance when the seller fails to convey title in breaching or title in breach. Should it come to this, a lease pendants may be recorded against the title to the property. Once recorded, a lease pendant gives notice to all potential purchasers of the pending litigation, so that the judgment in this action will be binding on sequential parties. What this means as a particular matter is that you will be unable to sell, refinance the property while there is an ongoing court case. Additionally, I may pursue damages for your breach, including monetary, consequential damages, loss of profits, damages for delay in conveyance, interest, and the agreement provides the attorney fees may be awarded to the prevailing party. Yeah. If checked, your attempt at cancellation was improper since failure to first deliver a demand to close form DCE under paragraph 14G of the agreement before either buyer or seller may cancel for failure of the property to close, the party to close, as the demand to close escrow must be issued. You cannot cancel without following a strict requirements under the contract. I will still like to pursue the property and resolve the situation. Please have your real estate agent contact my realtor as soon as possible. Should you fail to do so, I will have no choice but to consult with an attorney to enforce my legal rights. Okay. Very simple. These are the letters that we have that were created for this purpose. When you have an agent, when we have a seller not cooperating, or even vice versa, folks, if you have a buyer not cooperating, then we can also push hard to pursue for damages. Okay. And this is just one example of many different letters that you can utilize. Okay. Study what you have, and trust me, you'll become more geared with knowledge and obviously the understanding of the initial process. Disclosure by buyer, fence repairs, instructions when tenants vacate, lease, notice of change of property. So there's a list of things here. And I'm not going to go through a lot of them, but there's a lot of good pertinent information. Seller breach of listing letter, security deposits, risk of failure to close, risk to participate in a presentation. Here's another one that I hear a lot of agents, frustrated is, I believe this is the form. I just want to show you real quick. Request to participate in presenting of the offer. How many did not know that you can present the offer? And let's see here. So the attached sample letter is being made available to you as a courtesy by the California Association of Realtors. So I'm just going to go right into it. I represent the buyer who has made or intends to make a written offer to purchase the above described property. I hereby request to participate in the presentation of buyer's offer to the seller. In the event that the offer has not yet been made, it will be submitted to you soon as we arrange a time and a place for presentation of the buyer's offer to seller. A cooperating broker has the right to participate in the presentation of the buyer's offer to a seller under Rule 9.6 of the California Model Multiple Listing Service. Rules adopted by the local MLS. If your seller does not want me to be present, I have the right to receive a copy of the seller's written instruction requesting that I cooperate with the broker not to be present. A failure to comply with the MLS rules may result in, among other things, disciplinary action taken by the MLS, including payments of fine and sometimes maybe restrictions of your membership. Please contact me immediately to arrange a time for the presentation of the buyer's offer. Thank you for your cooperation in this matter. Okay, again, sample letters. Do you utilize everything? No, of course not. Okay, and it all depends. It's on a case-by-case scenario. Any questions on how you can gather the letters? I'm going to go back to the California Association of Realtors. Now I'm going to create a quick folder for you. So I already, on top of my head, I already know what documents that I need to include, right? So first thing, if you're representing a buyer, I know that immediately I need to include a purchase agreement. Now, it depends on what type of purchase agreement, right? Because you have vacant land, you have you have commercial, you have manufactured homes, you have business opportunities, you have industrial, right? So there's a lot of variables when it comes to what type of offer you have. Well, anything that's single family, duplex, triplex, and fourplex, you're going to use the RPA. Now, with that being said, if there's tenants or family members that are paying rent, then you can use the RIPA form, the Residential Income Purchase Agreement, okay? And you can add that. So here, for the sake of today's class, I'm going to include the Residential Purchase Agreement, right? I'm going to click on that, and that's going to populate already on my folder. So now if I go back, okay, it's going to upload the documents and anything that I requested to be part of this file. So I go back to 123 ABC, right? Here's the summary. And I'm going to go to documents. And when you go to documents here, it's going to show you what documents you have in place. Okay, you have your purchase agreement, then those letters that I had earlier, right? So here you're going to click on Residential Purchase Agreement, right? Now from here, once you complete this, right, you have gone in here and you already know what the price is and all that good stuff, right? So I'm going to go here, go to full. I want to show you something that you can do once you complete this form. All right. possible representation agreement, wire fraud, and here it is, right? So here, obviously, you're going to create the file. You're going to know the seller's information. Okay, I'm just going to say, let's see, it's not populating here. So seller is Wonder Woman as an example. Oops, wrong section, my bad. So here you're going to submit the address, right? And it's city of Torrance. Well, let's just say for the sake of class, I'm just going to populate something here, right? You're going to put in, the seller, the buyer's brokerage and agents. Here you're going to say, okay, we're submitting an offer for 1 million. If it's a cash offer, right? You're going to go through the trenches, right? If there's finance involved, then you're going to include, this is going to be a 30-day escrow. As an example, it expires in 3 days. My initial deposit is going to be 25,000. That's 2.5. Let's go 3%. So let's think it's 30,000. And that gives you 3%, right? If you're going to increase your deposit, let's say that after you close on your client's property, you're going to put an additional 50,000 into escrow, just again, for the sake of today's class. That's going to be an additional 5% on top of the 3%. If you're going to remove any type of contingencies, right? When are you planning to remove that contingency? Then you're going to add it here. The loan amount, okay? What is the loan amount? So if they're doing a purchase of $1 million, then say you're going to finance half of it. So that it'll tell you they're financing 50%. So they're putting 50% down and they're financing 50% down. Does that make sense? Is this a good loan? Absolutely, right? Any lender will probably take on this loan, even if you have really bad credit, because the buyer is putting a substantial down payment. So with the two deposits, the 30,000 initial, and then the 50 increase in a later date, the buyer will have to come in with a balance of 420,000. And make sure that this number on the bottom and this number on the top is the same. If there's a discrepancy, okay, if there's a discrepancy, it'll tell you. See, if I put $32, then they're saying that they're going to bring in an additional amount. But let's just say if there's a discrepancy, 5, 1, 2, 3, and I know I'm going a little quick, then this number here and then this number will not be the same. If this number is off, then your arithmetic is off. Somewhere around here, it's not correct. Either the loan amount or your deposit is off. So you just go back and check, okay, if we're putting $1 million and I know they're putting an additional 3%, which is 30,000, that number with this number, the balance to bring in plus the purchase amount should be the same. Make sense?
Does it automatically calculate?
Yeah, it should. So let's just say I want to change the 30,000 and just include 20,000. 1, 2, 3. So now it tells me it's 20%, but now they have to come in with 430 and it's still $1 million. If I put 10,000, right? 1, 2, 3. That's 1%. They got to come in with 440,000, but the number's still the same on the bottom. Okay, make sense? If there's any points, what type of loan? It's already defaulted to conventional. All right, so you go through the motions, any additional terms that you're asking, verifications are pretty much all default, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17. If you are planning or your client is planning to release a contingency, then you want to click here. It's going to populate the contingency removal of whatever thing that you're releasing, okay? Then you just go through the motions of all the information here. And then now that you have it, you're going to save. Make sure you save it. Now, if you close this, it will automatically save it too. But you don't want to be that person, right? Where your battery, let me see my battery. Where's my battery at now? 1 second. My battery is at 60, right? Be that person that you're typing all this stuff. You have all this creative ways, right? But you're at 3%. And because you did not save it and you spent an hour going through all the documents, because you didn't save it, the computer dies, it may not save it. And now all your efforts will be lost. So make sure that you're constantly saving. Even if you put a couple things, click here, save. Add something else, save. Just have a constant reminder to continue saving, because I don't want to be where you got to start all over again. All right. Any questions regarding that? Okay, so from there, let's say, and you can also, I believe, highlight this. Let's see here. I don't think this is, I think it's more for commercial. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if it, I haven't really played with that, so I'm not sure how that works, but anyways, it doesn't matter. You can preview, you can do a spell check, or you can go in now Docusign, right? So here is where the fun starts. Once you go to Docusign, it's going to take you to this next page. You have all your documents, right? Oops, what happened here? Something happened. Click transaction. Let me go back real quick. Go back to the file. Go to documents. And this is usually the most tedious part of everything. But once you get everything in, if this offer that you submit doesn't go through, you've got everything saved. Now it's going to be a lot faster when you're submitting other offers as well. Make sense? Okay, so now you're at documents, right? Now you have saved your purchase agreement. You're going to click here, and now you want to send this to your client for signatures. You're going to go where it says e-signature. That'll take you here. Make sure that if you're using Docusign, you're here. If you're using digital ink, you go here. All right. Then it already populates the purchase agreement. So all you have to do is you're selected number 1, go to part 2, and then part 3 is the signature. Then from here, make sure that you have the right form. Then you go to next. Okay. So the cool thing about this is you don't have to drag the signatures, the initials, the dates. It does it automatically if you have an account. Hopefully my account is valid. Let's see. Yep, it's valid. So click here. See, I just logged into my zip forms. And now I'm going to pick and choose who I want for them to sign. So I'm going to have, because I put my email, I'm going to have Batman be the signer. I have it clicked. If there's multiple buyers, and I'm going to click all the multiple buyers, right? You have to have a name and you have to have an email. All right. Now, let me give you another rule of thumb. Let's say that you have 2 clients, but only 1 email. 2 clients, 1 email. Can you use Docusign or digital ink when you have 1 email for two signatures? The answer is yes, you can. Yeah. So what you do is if you have a second buyer, you're going to put their names, right? Batman and Robin, but you're going to put the same email twice. Same email twice. Then you're going to close. And now it's going to take you to this section because I only have 1 buyer that I need signatures. It'll have multiple buyers in here with their email, right? If I had Batman and Robin here as an example, then I don't have the emails, and then I know, and then if I had a second, then I can choose who I want first to sign. You as an agent can also DocuSign yourself in here as well. If there's sections that you need to sign, initial or date, you add yourself as part of the transaction. Make sense? Okay. Then you'll have either 2 people, 3 people, or 1 and the agent, and then you can drag who you want first, right? If you want your client to sign first, or if you want to sign first and then have your client sign, it doesn't matter. Okay. Once that's done, yes, sir.
When you put the same email for the buyer, one, you tell that one that the other second buyer is going to get it under his email and have him sign it too, right?
That's correct. And I'm going to show you how that works, because the system doesn't know. Because if you use one email, folks, with 2 clients, right, 2 buyers, the system thinks that it already DocuSigned. So you have to send another reminder, and then it'll send a reminder to the second buyer. I'll explain how that works. So now you go to next. Now what it's going to do is DocuSign is going to read the document, right? And now it's going to populate, it's going to see where does it need a signature, where does it need initials, where does it need dates. Okay, so now the system is reading the purchase agreement. And the cool thing is it should already populate the information. See, I already have the signature, I already have the date. Let me see if there's another. Okay, signature, date. Signature, date. I didn't have to drag it from up here. All right, signature and date. If for any reason you still want to be proactive, folks, you want to make sure that the initial is there. If for any reason you don't see an initial, you know there's an initial, what you can do is drag and paste. Okay, that's simple. If for any reason you know, this is why you still got to look through the contract, make sure that the initials, the dates, the signatures are there. Okay. Once you have reviewed and everything looks good, all the initials, all the signatures, all the dates are in place. Okay. Now you can go ahead and send it over to your client. You see this button up here? Press send. Okay. Now what's going to happen is I will get an email, the buyer, right? I'm assuming I'm pretending to be Batman for this case, right? So now, oops, guess I have to log in. I don't think I remember my password. I still have AOL. It still works for me. I haven't had any problems. So everyone makes fun of me. You still have an AOL? Yeah, I still have an AOL. 23 years later. Yeah, I haven't had any problems with it. So.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny? I still pay for AOL. Yeah, I pay for AOL. All right, so hold on, let me just put in my code here. So see, it has all these protections, better than Gmail, in my opinion. Oh, it's asking me to create a new password. Oh, geez. Let me see if I can go in a different direction. I need to create a new password. I don't know what happened. Anyways, you know what? I don't have time to create a new password. I'm sorry. Anyways, what will happen is I'll get an email, and then that email will show that it's coming from me and it's coming from DocuSign, right? Then your client oops, let's go back to the, oops, wrong one. Okay, so then you can close this out. That, Docusign has sent out a Docusign. I know it's a little hard to see here, but let me see if you can see it. Well, you can't see it here. Let me. Can you see that? So right there is what your client is going to get. It's going to be this, and then you just click on here. It'll take you to Docusign. Very simple. And then your client is just going to click, 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 agree to the terms, continue, and then click, create your signature, and before you know it, it is done. Okay. So that's how you utilize the forms in order for you to Docusign and create forms through zip forms. So let me quickly go back to share my computer. Disregard this one. This one was from this morning. Go back here. And there you go. So any questions regarding the creations of form and how to utilize your zip forms? I know it's kind of a crash course, but again, you can also go to the help menu, click here, Learning Center, okay? And that'll take you right into videos as well. And the cool thing is that zip form has enough training here where if you want to spend a little bit of time, it'll go through a lot of it, how to get started, building blocks of a transaction, summaries, parties, documents, checklists, notes and history, document management as I created folders, right? You can go here, click on the section that you're interested, and it should take you right to the video. Okay. There you go. It creates the video for you, and then just click there.
Welcome to this short video on accessing forms.
It's a 3-minute video.
Once signed into ZipForm Plus.
Okay. Transaction management, advanced time-saving techniques. So it has a lot of information. You can always call their 800 number too as well if you have any questions, or you can reach out to me as the broker, and I'll be more than happy to navigate the Docusign for you. Sometimes it's a little thing that can be easily fixed. Most of the things that I see is Docusign issues or digital ink issues. Sometimes we have to call the support team in order for us to correct it. But for the most part, it's such an amazing platform. You have all the platforms in order for you to be more efficient, get deals closed, and be more efficient. So, yes, sir.
Which is better, Docusign or Digital Link?
Well, it really is a preference, Jim. For me, just because I've been so heavily involved with Docusign, it just works for me. I rather use Docusign. I understand it, it's easier. But everyone has their preference, because I know agents that use Docusign, but then I have other agents that use Digital Ink. Okay. All right, team, it is past 3 o'clock. Any questions regarding anything that I've discussed?
Is this something that my mentor, once I get one, will also go over with me again?
Absolutely. Yep.
Perfect. Okay,